Hello there, a very good evening and welcome to another edition of Primetime News on TV1. I'm Charlotte Benedict for the Newsfirst team.
And I'm Karuna Ratna. We start off tonight's bulletin with a look at your top stories for tonight.
University non-academic staff launch an indefinite strike. Government executive officers take to the street over the salary issue. Tensions high at the airport over the on-arrival visa issue. Ruling on Vijay Dasa's petition for the SLFP leadership post on the 7th of May. President honors legal luminaries.
On to your lead story this evening. Sri Lanka honoured legal luminaries with Senior Instructing Attorneys at Law title.
For the first time in Sri Lanka's history, the President has conferred the honour of Senior Instructing Attorneys at Law as per Act No. 26 of 2023 to the following inaugural recipients: Dr. J.M. Swaminathan, D.M. Swaminathan, G.G. Arul Pragasam, H.R. A.D.P. Gunathilaka, S.N.M. Gunawardana. G.G. Arul Pragasam is a member of the International Bar Association and has made significant contributions to the legal profession in Sri Lanka.
Government Executive Services officers have initiated a 2-day sick leave reporting process. Simultaneously, they staged a protest opposite the Ministry of Finance. This demonstration stems from unresolved professional issues, particularly salary disparities.
Government Executive Services officials from 18 different fields, including the State Engineering Service, Agriculture, Education, Health, Science, Information Technology, Labour and Surveying, engaged in the protest action. The group marched from Colombo Fort and assembled opposite the Ministry of Finance today. Notably, a significant presence of police and anti-riot personnel was observed around Colombo Fort during this time. As a result of this protest, the police closed the road leading to the Ministry of Finance from the Ceramic Junction. The protest lasted for around 1 hour.
The government bears responsibility for these injustices inflicted upon those reliant on our services. Presently, sustaining oneself for even a week on this wage is an insurmountable challenge. Numerous officers resort to home loans, slashing their income by 60%. How can one manage amidst such soaring living costs? This stands as the paramount issue confronting executive-level personnel today. Regrettably, executive-grade officials find themselves constrained. Procuring even necessities such as clothing or footwear consumes a significant portion of their monthly earnings. We earnestly request that the President address these matters. Immediate action is imperative for public service reform. Failure to act swiftly will inevitably precipitate the collapse of the entire public service sector within 4 to 5 years. We assert that the current administrative model has become obsolete. What we advocate for is a paradigm shift towards a public service system overseen by subject matter experts. With that in mind, we shall proceed to continue the protests.
Non-academic staff of universities launched an indefinite strike today. The strike was launched citing concerns including the 15% salary reduction and the failure to address salary disparities. In line with the strike launched, the non-academic staff of the University of Colombo held a protest today.
Circular number 17 of 2016 mandated salary reductions in the university system. For 8 years, we have appealed to the government, the ministry, the Treasury's Department of Management Services and the University Grants Commission to rectify this issue. While they have acknowledged the problem and a subcommittee was formed by the cabinet, along with a submitted cabinet memorandum, no solution has been implemented yet. We urge the government to address this matter with urgency and resolve the ongoing salary concerns of the university sector's non-academic staff.
In addition to the strike, the non-academic staff of the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura staged a protest today. They marched from the university premises to Vijayarama Junction, where they held their protest.
We request that the leaders solve this matter at the subcommittee meeting on the 8th of May. We urge them to submit it to the cabinet for consideration and a permanent solution through a cabinet paper.
Meanwhile, protests by university non-academic staff were held at several locations this afternoon, including the University of Rajarata, University of Peradeniya and the Faculty of Medicine of University of Ruhuna in Karapitiya.
Sri Lanka's Justice Minister Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa had moved the Court of Appeal to invalidate a ruling given by the Colombo District Court preventing him from functioning as the acting chairman of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. Now today, the Court of Appeal ruled in that matter that a decision on whether to issue an order sought by the petition and whether to issue notice to the respondents will be announced on the 7th of May. The proceedings were presided over by Court of Appeal Justice D.N. Samarkon.
President's Counsel Dr. Romesh De Silva, representing the petitioner Justice Minister Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa, highlighted that his client remains unaware of the restraining order issued by the Colombo District Court, barring him from assuming the role of acting chairman of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. Dr. De Silva emphasized that neither his client nor his legal team have received any official communication or documentation pertaining to the injunction. He underscored that given the absence of formal notification, there is no legal obligation for his client to adhere to the court's directive, particularly as the news was disseminated through the media. Furthermore, President's Counsel De Silva contended that the injunction issued by the Colombo District Court obstructing Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa's appointment as acting chairman of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party is flawed. He asserted that within this context, his client has filed a revision petition before the appellate court, which holds jurisdiction over the matter. Drawing attention to the Sri Lanka Freedom Party constitution, President's Counsel De Silva elucidated that the authority to appoint the chairman rests with the Executive Council, and thus Vijayadasa Rajapaksa's appointment aligns with the party's constitutional provisions. On behalf of the respondents Mahinda Amaravira, Lasantha Alagiyavanna and Duminda Disanayaka, President's Counsel Chandaka Jayasundara expressed initial objections advocating for the Ministry of Justice to address the matter through the Colombo District Court contesting the injunction. Furthermore, he argued against the filing of a revision petition to the Court of Appeal asserting its illegality. He highlighted that according to the Sri Lanka Freedom Party constitution, the supreme governing body is the Politburo, not the Executive Council, with sole authority over all party decisions. Thus, if any constitutional discrepancy arise, the Politburo possesses the jurisdiction to resolve them. Consequently, he contended that the appointment of Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa as acting chairman of the party, as sanctioned by the executive body, contravenes the law. Following a comprehensive review of the presented arguments, the appellate court judge scheduled the issuance of the verdict for the 7th of May regarding the petition.
The former General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party and the leader of the Humane People's Alliance, Dalsiri Jayasekara, appointed Prabha Ganeshan, the leader of the Democratic National Congress, as the General Secretary of the Humane People's Alliance.
The members of the party are anti-government. I don't think that the members of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party will like it if someone comes and says that they are the owners of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party after supporting the government. Therefore, they can capture the party headquarters. The acting secretary of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party made an entry in the police. What is the entry? It is that someone had forcibly entered their party headquarters and taken the books and documents. Then it was turned into a crime scene and was closed down. Many days have passed and the two parties involved are called to the police, and it was left without being able to conduct a proper investigation. After that, the worst thing is that the police handed over the key to the thief who allegedly stole the goods, not to the complainant. So what is the law in this country? That is what happened.
Sri Lanka's major political parties held MayDay rallies and parades across Sri Lanka yesterday. Now, as we approach the country's elections later this year, many political parties use the MayDay rallies as an opportunity to showcase their power amongst the people.
Meanwhile, we also saw several discussions on crossovers between parties. Let's take a look at what these parties have to say now.
Wins the election.
National organizer of the Sri Lanka Pudujana Peramuna, Nama Rajapaksa, visited the Gangaramaya temple this morning.
The biggest mistake we made was having our rally in a ground. Had we chosen the street, our rally would have been visible to the people on the streets too. There were 4 to 5 times more people outside the ground premises. It is a fact that the Sri Lanka Pudujana Peramuna held the most successful MayDay rally.
මයිදින අතුරින් ඉතාමත් සාර්ථක මයිදිනේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා පොදුජන පෙරමුණ පැවැත්වුවා කිව්වොත් නිවැරදියි. ජාතික ජනබලවේගයේ දෙවන්ත මෙයි රැලි හතරක් පැවැත්වුවා කියලා ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා. එය හැමදාම සාර්ථක මයිදින පැවැත්වුවා.
No, they always held a successful MayDay rally. They are a political party that served the working class. I said served since they have changed now, but I am glad that the SLPP and the JVP held MayDay rallies that did not culminate with musical shows. The SLPP held a meeting that had a massive crowd at Galface. A few months later, the JVP held a similar meeting, but when the results came out, the SLPP had 6.9 million votes. They had 300,000 votes. Regardless of the issue, the SLFP held a MayDay rally too. Those are great factors for democracy.
මතන ඒවා හොඳ කාරණා මෙරට ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී රාමුව ඇතුලේ.
සමහර ජ්‍යෙෂ්ඨයෝ අපි දැක්කේ නෑනේ වේදිකාවේ.
බහුතරයක් සම්බන්ධ වීමට හැකි.
A majority attended the rally. Some people have gone abroad. There are 2 main reasons for this. Some went for government duties while others went for party duties. Some were in the grounds due to the massive crowd at the premises.
වෙලා හිටියා. හිටියා මොකද පිටේනේ ඉඩමදි ආපු සෙනගට ඉන්න.
Wins the election.
What is the Samagijana Balavege saying now regarding the MayDay celebration and election preparations? These are the views expressed at the party press conference today.
We have received reports that the crowd that attended the SJB rally was much larger in comparison to the turnout at other rallies organized by all other parties. Ranil Wickremesinghe gave us the worst location, but he cannot put us down politically through such actions.
එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයටත් හොඳ සෙනගක් හිටියනේ. මෙහෙට ආපු කට්ටිය එහෙට ගියාවත්
An MP said they were given a drink as well. Despite that, I believe the crowd was less than 10,000. If there was a large crowd from us, 10 to 15 of them would have gotten on that stage.
ගොඩක් කතා තිබුණා. සරත් ෆොන්සේකා මහත්තයාට කතාවක් තිබුණේ නැහැ.
ඉතින් එතුමා මේ කතා දෙන්න ඕන පදනම එතුමා ඇති කරන්නේ නැහැනේ පක්ෂය තුලනේ.
එතුමාට කතාවක් දෙන එක සුදුසු නැහැයි කියලාද කියන්නේ?
මං හිතන්නේ සුදුසු නැහැ ඒ වෙලාවේ. එතුමා මේක මේ විවේචනය කරගෙන යනකොට අපේ පක්ෂය මම එතුමාට කියලා කතා කරා. මම එතුමාගෙන් ඇහුවා මොකද්ද ඔබතුමාගේ ප්‍රශ්නේ කියලා. ඉතින් ඒ අනුව එතුමා හැඩ ගැහෙන්න ඕනේ.
ජනාධිපතිතුමාගේ කතාවේදී ඔහු සඳහන් කරනවා ගිවිසුමක් අත්සන් කරලා එන්න කියලා.
කිසිම සූදානමක් නැහැ.
We have no intention of doing so. He not only destroyed us but destroyed the entire country. We have no dealings with him. He should go home now. Initially, he came forward as president and named Sajit as prime minister. Thereafter, he has sent a message saying he is prime minister. He wants to be given a post when he joins us, and we have no need for that. He helped the Rajapaksas and is now the leader in their lap. So we have no dealings with him, and there's no use of talking about it. He has already accepted defeat. Arjuna has been in constant talks with me and has expressed willingness to support us. People like Dayasiri and Roshan Ranasinghe have also given us positive feedback. We will join a group of skilled people at the right time. It is good if that's possible, and if the people think so, I congratulate him.
හරි වෙලාවට අපි හොඳ පිරිස දක්ෂ පිරිසක් අපි එකතු කරලා බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
මහින්ද මහත්තයා කිව්වා වැරදි හදාගෙන අපි ඉස්සරහට යමු අපිත් එක්ක එකතු වෙන්න කියලා.
හොඳයි ඉතින්. පුළුවන් නම් ජනතාව එහෙම හිතනවා නම් සුබපතන මහින්ද මහත්තයාට.
Wins the election.
What happened to the parliamentarians and the ministers from other political parties who announced that they will attend the MayDay rally of the United National Party? The General Secretary of the United National Party, Palitharange Bandar, responded to this question today.
Our friends from the SJB, they are our friends from the United National Party. Just like a group from there came and joined us, there is another group who is about to join us. Do not follow Sajid. He won't win. He will not contest. He evaded this 2 times before. He fought to become party leader and then sacrificed Karu Jayasuriya and ran away. Afterwards in parliament he announced that he will contest against Ranil Wickremesinghe to become president. But he was all talk only. Sacrificed Dallas and he ran away. He is not a person who will make sacrifices. Sajid Premadasa is a person who runs away and sacrifices someone else. I respectfully urge all the members of the SJB, besides Nalin Bandara and Mujibur Rahman, who are like the 2 chief disciples of Sajid, to come and join us. I would like to clearly say that even people who spoke on the stage of the SJB rally yesterday are having discussions with us to join our camp. There are other groups who walked away from the meeting that Sajid Premadasa appeared for during the past few days. They too will join us. Nalin Bandara doesn't know how many people will cross over. We have no hurry. The United National Party had fallen in 2020 and we concede that. But we wanted to show the country and the world that we can rise up again. At the MayDay rally, we showed that all the people joined the United National Party rally above all else and that we stood up alone. In the future, we will gather other groups as well, and at the presidential election, we will take the next step.
Politicians are on a race to assert their power in the country. But what is happening to the general public? This story is about an incident so irresponsible that it completely disregarded even the minimum security of the general public.
This location is currently undergoing repairs under the program to renovate the Northern Railway line. It is located behind the Galgamua fuel station. Yesterday, 3 school students who were riding a motorcycle met with an accident here. Tragically, 17-year-old Chamod Vasala lost his life in the accident. The other 2 students are being treated at the hospital.
कुमारी आवा में क्या अरपाल वाला दिल्ली में पाल मत वाला दिल्ली वाला आवा वेगे बाइक की सुन देना अविल्ला ये आवा वेगे तो मतलब मैं किली में वाला जाऊँगा अरे बैम में ना वेदिला दिल्ली वेदिला बेला तो मां पेडल दिल्ली इसला में एलो के नाम लबेनी अल्लाह में कुमारी मितनी में मेरे लामो आगे तो मारेंगी दाना में यानो में सेला इंदी रंगिया.
Why haven't the relevant authorities issued at least a basic warning in the interest of public safety?
Newsfirst with the people.
The Katona International Airport found itself at the center of attention after an incident that unfolded last night. Social media platforms buzzed with discussions, prompting Newsfirst to delve into the matter. Here's what we know so far.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm really sorry, but I'm Sri Lankan. This educated gentleman, Sri Lankan gentleman, Sri Lankan people. This is Sri Lankan airport, and this Indian guy, my wife is here right now, and I want to get a visa. That guy is refusing my visa. How can Indian guy decide my visa situation for my wife? How can Indian decide this? This is Sri Lanka. I'm a taxpayer of this country. I pay tax like more than 4 million Sri Lankan rupees for every year. I'm a taxpayer of this country, and I can raise my voice. How can you talk to me like that? How can you talk to me like that? This is completely, my friend, you're from Gold, I know you. This is Indian company here. They are issuing visa for all tourists and taking money from all these tourists. How can it be possible? Lanka, Mitra, Vyavasaya ko inno, Lanka, Mitra, Vyapari ko inno, Mitra, Vyapari ko ittibe Lanka, Anduwa. Ekatola Indian kulu kholle da kadeyakata dila dila Indian kadeyakata dila dila me Lanka visa issue karanne. $30 dila Lanka visa issue karanne Indian kadeya. Me Indian kadeyakata. How many hours? Indian horu. Mewa tamai Lanka vipuro rajya process එක. Government is selling, Sri Lanka government is selling government process to Indian companies. This is Indian mafia. This is Indian mafia issuing visas. My friend, how can you stop MayDay? How can you stop this? Huh? Dear guys, this is what more happened in this country because of these people. They charge more than Sri Lankan government, they charge more than that. These Indian people, Sri Lanka has a lot of education, educated people, very capable people, and they have given it to Indian government, Indian people. Why we have killed Indian people in my country? We have a lot of people who can work. We are local people. Your people are not capable enough to do this. Your people are not capable. Like your country, your country people. Your people are not capable. But these people charge a lot of money. Sri Lankan guys can take your money. This guy is Indian mafia.
What led to this incident? In the process of obtaining a visa for foreign travellers coming to Sri Lanka, two methods have traditionally been employed: online issuance and on-arrival issuance, as stipulated by the Immigrants and Emigrants Act of Sri Lanka. Since 2012, this process operated efficiently and without major issue under the purview of the Department of Immigration and Immigration up until March of this year. During this period, the department charged approximately $20 for visa fees for South Asian countries and $50 for other countries. However, a significant development occurred last year when the Cabinet of Ministers made a decision to enter into an agreement to outsource the visa issuance process to a third party. Enter VFS Global, a foreign company now responsible for handling visa issuance on behalf of Sri Lanka. Since April 16th, VFS Global has been actively involved in visa issuance activities. Prior to this, visa applications were temporarily suspended on the immigration website, with all related activities redirected to VFS Global's separate platform. The recent changes have impacted the cost structure as well. The online visa fees, previously set at $52, has now been increased to $75. Additionally, a convenience fees of $18.05 and a facility fees of $7.27 have been introduced. Consequently, the total visa fee now stands at $100.77. Last night, a notable incident unfolded at the visa issuing point. It was triggered by the rejection of a visa application by an individual who subsequently engaged in an intense conversation. The situation escalated, leading to heightened tensions. In response to this heated scenario, VFS Global decided to withdraw from visa issuance activities. As a result, immigration officials have reverted to issuing visas at the previous rate. What is the response of the Ministry of Public Security? Newsfirst reached out to Viyani Gunatilaka, the Secretary of the Ministry of Public Security, to seek clarification regarding the recent incident. According to Gunatilaka, a technical glitch caused the temporary suspension of the on-arrival visa issuance process for foreigners last night. However, he assured that the situation has been rectified and visas are now being issued using the previous method. What is the response given by the Indian High Commission in Sri Lanka? The High Commission of India in Sri Lanka issued a statement over the matter. It added that the companies referred to in these reports are Indian-based or Indian and are headquartered elsewhere. It added that any reference to India in this context is unwarranted.
The Frontline Socialist Party also commented on the matter.
The authority to grant entry permission for tourists visiting Sri Lanka is unprecedented. No other nation delegates such discretion over who enters its borders. Ranil Wickremesinghe declared that governance isn't a business. However, government entities and state enterprises distance themselves from this notion. Unfortunately, all these duties and responsibilities are being let go of.
Colombo Chief Magistrate Thilina Gamage issued warrants for the arrest of the 6th and 7th suspects identified as directors of OnMax DT in relation to an ongoing case.
The Criminal Investigation Department noted that the 6th suspect, who had previously been arrested and granted bail, surreptitiously left the country within 8 days of his release. They added that the 7th and 8th suspects have also fled Sri Lanka. Today, the Chief Magistrate issued a directive to the directors of OnMax DT and tasked with formulating a refund program for the deposit of victims who suffered losses due to the pyramid scheme operated by the company. Following legal proceedings, a heated exchange took place opposite the court premises between the defence and the plaintiff factions. In March 2022, the Central Bank of Sri Lanka announced that OnMax DT is a prohibited pyramid scheme. The Financial Intelligence Unit of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka had conducted an investigation into OnMax DT and accordingly reached a decision to file criminal charges against its directors, promoters and founders.
A debate has arisen regarding a circular issued by the President's office based on a cabinet decision on the 25th of April. The circular was issued to establish community advisory committees at local government level to monitor development projects and programs implemented at the rural level.
According to the circular issued by the President's Office, community advisory committees have been assigned the responsibility of overseeing the Urumaya Land Ownership Program, the Agriculture Sector Modernization Program and the Rice Distribution Program at rural level. They also assigned the responsibility of identifying the programs and projects that need to be implemented urgently at divisional level and implementing those programs and projects through the relevant local government bodies. These committees are appointed for a period of 1 year and the power to appoint the members vested with the governor of the province. Prior approval of the Prime Minister should be obtained for committee nominations. The PAFRAL organisation expressed views regarding the circular during a press conference held today.
උපදේශක කමිටු සඳහා පත් කිරීමේ ක්‍රමවේදයක් එහෙම නැත්නම් ඒ සඳහා නිර්ණායකයක් ජනාධිපතිවරයාගේ චක්‍රලේඛී.
The President's circular does not include any criteria for appointing these community advisory committees. They can arbitrarily make these appointments. The appointments will be made by the governor and they've proposed to make the appointments subject to the Prime Minister's approval. The governor and the Prime Minister are two main representatives of the two main political parties representing the government. Therefore, it is clear that these appointments are made on political authority. This also proposes allocating 10 million rupees for development activities in each division. These funds can be spent subject to the governor's approval. The governor is the direct representative of the president. Some governors are hoping to contest the upcoming parliamentary election as well. We see this process that uses state resources as an act done targeting the upcoming elections.
ඍජු නියෝජිතයා ඒ වගේම සමහර ආණ්ඩුකාරවරු ඉදිරි පාර්ලිමේන්තු මැතිවරණයේදී අපේක්ෂකව බවට පත් වෙන්න ඉන්න අය. නිසා මේ සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම මේ ක්‍රියාවලිය මේ රාජ්‍ය සම්පත් පාවිච්චි කරමින් මේ කරන ක්‍රියාවලිය පැහැදිලිවම මැතිවරණ ඉලක්කගත කරමින් කරන ක්‍රියාවලියක් හැටියට අපි දකින්නේ.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe appointed two new governors for the southern and northwestern provinces today. Accordingly, Lakshmanyapa Abewardhana took oath as the governor of the southern province before President Ranil Wickremesinghe this morning, while Nazir Ahmed was sworn in as the governor of the northwestern province. Parliamentarian Partali Champika Ranawaka held a media briefing today.
තවමත් අපි 2022 අප්‍රේල් 12න් පස්සේ විදේශ ණය ගෙවීම පැහැර හැරියා.
We still find ourselves in default on foreign debt post-April 12, 2022. Excluding multilateral loans, despite ongoing negotiations, reaching an agreement has proven elusive. We emphasized earlier that securing an agreement before July without introducing new agendas like holding general elections was paramount. The urgency of reaching an agreement with foreign creditors before June cannot be overstated. Currently, the International Monetary Fund staff has proposed disbursing the next installment contingent upon progress in restructuring the foreign debt, among other factors. The delay in restructuring domestic debt last September led to severe consequences, including increased interest rates and a billion rupee shortfall in government income. Further delays will exacerbate these issues. Our immediate concern lies with securing the IMF installment. Additionally, our obligation to multilateral institutions such as the World Bank, the Asian Development Bank, and the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank are interlinked with IMF commitments. These institutions provide essential concessions to bridge budget gaps rather than development aid. Further, to adhere to these commitments will jeopardize approximately $800 million in foreign funding earmarked for this year, particularly affecting small and medium-scale industries and relief programs supported by the Asian Development Bank.
අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම අපට මේ වසරේ ලැබෙන්න තියෙන ඩොලර් මිලියන 800ක පමණ විදේශ ධනය අහිමි වෙන්න නියමිතයි පළවෙනි වතාවේදී.
Up next is the Newsfirst Finance Report.
The Newsfirst Finance Report.
The International Monetary Fund says that achieving the IMF-supported program's objectives is a key priority to give Sri Lanka a chance of emerging from one of the worst crises in its history. A statement from an IMF spokesperson to Newsfirst said that Sri Lanka's path remains on knife edge. Sri Lanka has made good progress in terms of getting the recovery going, and it will be important to safeguard these hard-won gains. A key priority in the time ahead is to persevere with the reforms that will enable stable and inclusive economic growth and avoid slipping into another crisis. The statement added that the program does not get adjusted periodically during regular reviews in light of developments. The spokesperson said that the IMF is willing to listen to alternative proposals and how the program objectives can be reached, and these must be realistic and achievable within the time frame of the program. In this context, the IMF notes that the current IMF-supported program is the result of robust discussions with the authorities, extensive outreach to stakeholders, and a thorough internal review process.
The Newsfirst Finance Report.
The Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka says that the India-Sri Lanka ferry services will commence in around 2 weeks.
Just 2 weeks from now, we will have the ferry service starting from Nagapattinam to Kankasanture. So if everything goes well, the preparations are on, and I think the boat service will start again. We are working with the government of Sri Lanka on building a land connectivity corridor between India and Sri Lanka, and the first conversations have already begun. We are working to now move towards the next stage of doing a detailed project report on that. This is a long-term project. It cannot be done in 1 year or 2 years.
The ceremonial opening of the ITC Ratnadeepa Hotel in Colombo took place recently under the auspices of President Ranil Wickremesinghe.
Now, one of the key features of the hotel is the Sky Bridge, and Newsfirst gained access to this unique construction marvel. Newsfirst, Budmin Amara Divakara reports.
Do you want to have a look at the Sky Bridge? Let's go! Oh hi! I'm here at the main lobby of the ITC Ratnadeepa Colombo, but my story is waiting on the 29th floor of this building. So why are we waiting for? Let's go!
Hi, welcome to Aasa. Hi Budhavan, welcome to Aasa. We are at the bridge between the two towers of the building, and this is where we are right now.
Hi Mr. Sudhich, the General Manager of the ITC Ratnadeepa. So, what is this Aasa?
Aasa in Sinhala, means sky. So, it's called sky because we are 100 meters above the ground, nestled between the two towers that we have here. So that means sky, right? We are open to the sky, and above this we got two infinity pools. So sort of if you look outside, you'll see the fact that we are almost like floating in air. So that's how the inspiration of the name Aasa came by.
Mr. Sujit, I believe Aasa is one of those unique creations, I believe, in Sri Lanka. We have Sigiriya, we talk about Parakram Samudraya, and coming back to the modern era, we talk about Nelum Pokuna, Nelum Kulna, and here comes Aasa. So how did this all begin?
Aasa is unique not only to Sri Lanka and Colombo. This installation has been an engineering marvel. Building and getting this up 100 meters above the ground and to be installed between the two towers is by itself an technological feat. This makes it extremely unique in what we have in South Asia. Just like you look at any building architecture, just by looking at this building that we have here, you can show that this is in Colombo. You can compare the building to what we have in Singapore, the Marina Bay Sands, the Petronas Twin Towers in Kuala Lumpur, the Burj Al Arab in the UAE. Similarly, when somebody looks at our building, they'll say, wow, this must be Colombo. That is a tribute to Sri Lanka.
So coming back to the question, Mr. Sujit, I believe we have sky bridges in other countries. So why a sky bridge in Sri Lanka?
My answer is, why not a sky bridge in Sri Lanka? Right? If every other city boasts something that is unique to that place, this is what we would like to bring to it. If you've been here, you can see this place right now. You can see that what we have here is something that's quite unparalleled in terms of view, in terms of location, and if you look at whether in the daytime or in the evening, it actually gives you a sensation that you're flying in the clouds. Right? So that makes us really unique. Which is why we decided to come up with a concept as fantastic as this, so it's comparable to what anybody else has got in the world.
Mr. Sujit, how long did it take to actually create this whole sky bridge?
The concept development started way back in 2015 and 16. Right, that's when we acquired the land, that's when we started the construction and building the foundation for the hotel. Finalizing the design, the architecture took a lot more months after that, and that's when we selected this among the various international people who had come in to make a presentation. We found this to be strikingly different. That's why we froze on this design, and since then the work has started on Aasa.
What do we have here? Tell me about it. I mean, all of them watching on TV and even on social media, I think we have the Indian Ocean from this side and we have the Bear Lake from the other side. So what do we have here inside Aasa?
When you step into Aasa, the first thing that sort of meets the eye and hits you is the fact that you're really up there, right? It's a tall installation that happened, like I said, 100 meters off the ground. But what you come here to experience is going to be great food, right? We got extremely well-curated food snacks that would be coming in. You have a mixologist who will give you special cocktails. We got an extensive wine list, and you're going to have a great ambience because we have a live band playing right from 5 in the evening till late in the evening. So this is a comprehensive, complete experience that you would get when you come into Aasa any time of the day or evening.
The recent announcement regarding a daily payment increase of rupees 1,700 for plantation workers has sparked a national debate.
However, the Planters Association of Ceylon has raised concerns about the feasibility of this raise and is pursuing legal action. As a result, the exact implementation date for this increased salary remains uncertain.
The total daily payment for workers in the tea growing and manufacturing trade has been increased to 1,700 rupees via an extraordinary gazette. The daily wage for plantation workers has been raised to 1,350 rupees. On top of the increased daily wage, plantation workers will receive an additional daily special allowance of 350 rupees, bringing their total daily take-home pay to 1,700 rupees. The Gazette also allows for objections to be submitted regarding this new wage structure until the 15th of May at noon. When will the salary increase come into effect? The implementation of the 1,700 rupee daily wage for plantation workers is facing a potential delay. An official confirmed a two-part salary structure, a fixed daily base salary of 1,350 rupees, an additional 350 rupee allowance potentially tied to harvest size. However, planters associations have been granted 14 days to submit objections to the proposed 1,700 rupee total wage. The official clarified that the implementation date for the increased salary cannot be announced until this objection period concludes. What do the Planters Association say about salary increases? The Planters Association of Ceylon is pushing back against the government's mandated pay increase for plantation workers. They argue that under current circumstances, a daily wage of 1,700 rupees is financially unsustainable for the industry. Roshan Rajadure, spokesperson for the association, expressing concern to Newsfirst, said that the salary increase would cripple the tea industry. He claims it would exacerbate the negative impact of the recent fertilizer ban, placing responsibility for the industry's decline on those who made that decision. The Planters Association suggests that the higher wage might be feasible only if workers harvest around 25 to 30 kilograms more tea leaves. Rajadure further questioned the logic behind the additional 80 rupees per extra kilo, highlighting the difficulty of even affording 40 rupees per kilo. He also expressed confusion regarding the purpose of the special 350 rupee daily allowance mentioned in the news and indicated the Federation's intention to challenge the salary increase in court. Meanwhile, Salon Workers Congress Chairman Sendil Thondaman expressed his views in the Newsline program.
இந்த சந்தர்ப்பத்திலே அவர்களால் 1700 ரூபாய் வழங்க முடியாது என்று அவர்கள் கூறுகின்றார்கள். இப்போது தொழிற்சங்கம் என்றவர்கள் நீங்கள் என்ன கூறுகின்றீர்கள்?
பொதுவா நீதிமன்றம் இந்த நாட்டில் யாருனாலும்
In general, anyone can go to court in this country. If you are at a loss, this is not your place. This is the government's place. You can freely give it to the government and leave. No one told you to keep it by force. When you give 1,000 rupees, the dollar was worth 192 rupees. Now, if a lorry of tea powder goes out, the price of the dollar rate has gone up to 380 rupees. Profits almost doubled. It is true that electricity and fuel is expensive. I'm not disagreeing. Similarly, if you calculate according to the dollar value of workers, this 1,700 is fair.
குடிச்சு இல்லைன்னு சொல்ல அப்ப அதே மாதிரி தொழிலாளர்களோட சம்பளம் வந்து டாலர் ரேட் படி கணக்கு பண்ணியிருந்தீங்கன்னா இந்த 1000
wins the debate.
When will the debate between the Samagijana Balavegir and the National People's Power be held? With the various views expressed during yesterday's MayDay rallies, the conversation regarding the debate has come to the limelight once again.
The representatives named by both parties for the debate participated on the Davasa program today. These are some of the views expressed during the program.
පළවෙනි කාරණාව නායකයෝ දෙන්න අතර විවාද ඉවර කරමුකෝ අපි. නෑ ඔබතුමා අහන්න විවාද දෙකටම එකකද කියලා අහන්නකෝ.
එන්නේ ජනාධිපතිවරණයක් නම් ජනාධිපතිවරයා වැදගත් නම් පුද්ගලයා වැදගත් නම් අපි ඒක නිසා අපේ පැත්තෙන් දින 4ක් ප්‍රකාශ කරා. මැයි 7 9 13 14. හැබැයි මේගොල්ලෝ කිව්වා ඒක අපි ඒකපාර්ශ්විකව කිව්වේ ඒක නිසා ඒකට ඔට්ටු නෑ කිව්වා. අපේ දින 4 පැත්තක තියන්න ඕගොල්ලෝ දින 3ක් 4ක් කියන්නේ නායකයෝ අතර විවාදෙට. ඉතින් නායකයෝ අතර විවාදෙ සිද්ධ කරාට පස්සේ අපිට පුළුවන් ඔය ආර්ථික කමිටුව හරි සෞඛ්‍ය කමිටුව හරි අධ්‍යාපන කමිටුව හරි කෘෂිකර්ම කමිටුව හරි ආරක්ෂක කමිටුව හරි ඕනම එකක් විවාද කරන්න.
අපි බොහොම පැහැදිලිව කිව්වේ මේ මණ්ඩල දෙක අතර විවාදයක් නායකයෝ දෙන්න අතර විවාදයක් එකවර දිනක කවණු දමා ගැනීම.
මේ 20 වෙනකොට සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මහතාගේ පැත්තෙන් මේ විවාදයට දිනයක් ලබා දුන්නේ නැත්නම් ඒක අදහස් වෙන්නේ ඔහු වෙන්න කැමති නැහැ කියන එකනේ. ඔහු වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියන එකනේ. රයිට්. එතනින් පස්සේ මේ ආර්ථික කමිටුව දෙක අතර විවාදයට අපි දිනයක් ලබා දෙන්න.
මේ මාසය ඇතුළත විවාද දෙකම සජිත් පැත්තකින් සහ සූදානම්. දෙපැත්තට බෝල පාස් කරන හින්දා තමයි අපි බොහොම පැහැදිලිවම මේ නීතිඥ සංගමයට අපි ලිඛිතව ඉල්ලීමක් කරා. මොකද මේ වගේ විවාදයක් මැදිහත්කාර පාර්ශවයක් අවශ්‍යයි.
කවුරුණත් කමක් නැහැ. අපිට කොහෙත් එකයි වැඩේ දින ඒගොල්ලෝගේ පැත්තෙන් දිනයක් කියන්න එපා.
මම හෙට ඩයරිය බලලා දෙන්නම්. ඔය දින විවාද දෙකටම දින මේ 20 37 අතර. දෙන්න පුළුවන් දින දෙකම.
හරි 20ට කලින් සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මහතාගේ දිනය දෙන්න. ඊට පස්සේ අපිට පුළුවන් ආර්ථික කමිටුවේ දිනය දාගන්න. එච්චරයි.
The weekly silent protest at the Liberty Circle took place today as well.
Civil activists gathered at the Liberty Circle in Colombo to express their dismay over the lack of attention to pressing issues in the country.
We saw the highest level of corruption yesterday, the MayDay. We saw how people were given food passes, they were given alcohol, they were given transport, and they were brought to different places to showcase their power. Where did the money come from? The biggest question from all the parties, maybe UNP, maybe SLFP, maybe SJB, maybe JVP, the big question is, where did the money come from?
Activists held placards to express their dismay to the current state of affairs.
With 30 days to go for the Men's T20 World Cup 2024, the ICC released the official anthem for the tournament, featuring some of the biggest music and sports icons.
Grammy Award-winning artist Sean Paul and soca superstar Kiss collaborated on the anthem for the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2024, titled Out of This World. We'll leave you tonight with the footage of the anthem.
Thank you very much for tuning in to Primetime News on TV1. Take care and God bless.